Hey everyone, it's 2019, and what that means is that every 60 seconds, 300 hours of video are uploaded to YouTube, and every day, 40 million blog posts are published to the internet, and every single day, there's more than 95 million posts of images and videos uploaded to Instagram. That's the state of the world that we're in 2019. What that means is there's a lot of garbage content out there, and most of that garbage content is coming against you, keeping you from reaching your target audience. But how do we get over that? What are we supposed to do about it? That's what we're going to talk about in today's video. That's right. There's all kinds of junk content out there, and it's really the thing about junk content. The thing about trash is that trash is not spiritual. Trash is very much physical, and it piles up. If you get enough trash, you can create the Great Wall of China out of trash if you want it. If you have enough trash, you can make an obstacle that can be hard to overcome. There's mountains outside of cities filled with trash. We're trying to wonder what, we're trying to figure out what to do with our trash. It's ending up in the oceans. Trash is a very physical thing. And when it comes to the digital world, trash is just as much of an obstacle, and it's piling up. In every industry, in every vertical, there is a lot of trash being added to the internet every single day. And what that means for us as business people in 2019, it means that we can no longer just sit around creating a little bit of content and think that we're going to be noticed. The whole old argument of quality versus quantity, I think, is the stupidest argument ever, because the fact is that they're not mutually exclusive. If you have quality, it doesn't mean that you can't have quantity. And if you have quantity, it doesn't mean that it has to be trash. We're living in a world that demands now, because of all of the information that is flowing in your vertical, in your industry, you are faced with the problem of having to create a lot of quality content with a lot of quantity content. So let's talk about the state of content marketing in 2019. The state of the content marketing in 2019 is such that you're building a tower, right? Every blog post, every video, every image that you push out on Instagram, it's building blocks into this tower, and you have to build your tower, this tower of quality, a lot faster than the garbage can build up around you. And if you keep your tower going up faster than the garbage is accumulating, you win. And that's really, that's a horrible way to put it, but that's really what video content marketing is in 2019. There's a lot of people that are investing in a lot of stuff, and we have clients that have invested a lot in marketing and seen lackluster results because they're investing in things like advertising. They're advertising in magazines and newspapers and in the Super Bowl and all of these things that they're spending thousands and millions of dollars on, and they're seeing very little results. And the reason why is because even though they bought that great billboard on that really high traffic road, there's so much garbage that no one can find them. When they get on the internet, they start searching for the things that this company is supposed to offer, and there's so much garbage out there, or competitors, that they're finding it hard to find you, even if they saw you on a billboard. And so when it comes to content marketing in 2019, what do you do? How do you get ahead of the game? How do you rise above the garbage? Well, it boils down to the fact that you got to create a lot of quantity with quality in order to compete. But when it comes to what do we invest in, I think the main thing that you got to invest in, there's really two places that I would spend my investment. If I had, all the money to spend, if I was tasked with growing your business and I had a marketing budget, I would spend it on two things. The first thing I would spend it on is blog content. It's 2019, and blog content is still the foundation of digital marketing, in my opinion. Google is still the #1 search engine, and Google searches for written content. Your blog is really the foundation. If you create a video, it should go on your blog. Notice that you're watching this video, maybe even on our blog, but it's going to be embedded there. If you create a podcast, it needs to go on your blog. If you create an image, an infographic, it needs to go on your blog. It really does become the foundation of your digital marketing traffic. And the main reason why blog posting is so important is because the more posts that you have out there that are quality, in a world of garbage, the more authority Google ascribes to your website. The more content you have out there that is better than all the trash, the more Google likes to level you up. And so if you have a website and you have a blog that has a lot of great content, your domain authority goes up. And what that means is if you have 1,000 blog posts out there and your domain authority goes up by a factor of 4 or 5, all of those 1,000 blog posts get a lift in the rankings and you get even more and more traffic. You cannot walk away from blogging. Now, for a long time, I marveled at people like Gary Vaynerchuk, who has a huge, massive following. He's got Instagram. He's always on Twitter, Snapchat. He's been on all these things. Now he's like crushing YouTube. He's out there all the time. He's public speaking. He's publishing books. He's everywhere. But he rarely talks about blogging. He's always talking about Instagram. He's talking about Facebook. He's talking about YouTube. He's always talking about those. He's never talking about blogging. But if you look closely, Gary Vaynerchuk has a blog. Why? Because there is a very important search engine out there that kind of values written content, and that's called Google. It's the #1 search engine in the world. So I would invest really heavily on publishing blog content. Now, one of the questions that I get asked quite often by our clients is, how many times do we need to publish? If we're going to invest in blogging, how many blog posts do we need to publish? And that's a very good question because every blog post costs you an investment. Even if you're writing it yourself, it's an investment of time. And so how much of that investment do you want to make? And this comes to the question of quantity or velocity. Am I going to publish once a week? Am I going to publish twice a week? The #1 marketing blog on the internet is HubSpot. They publish multiple times a day. There is a correlation between how many times they publish and the fact that they're the #1 marketing blog. You look at all of the sites that are just up there in the top tier for whatever industry vertical that you're talking about, and what you're going to find is the websites that are at the top are the websites that publish a lot of content. And so the question is not how much do you have to publish to get results. The question is how much can you publish, because that's will help the results come in. And so we've got a lot of people that have tried to blog it once a week. And what we have found is if that you publish less than once a week, you might as well just take the money that you're spending on creating blog posts and put them into paid ads, because you're not going to get any organic growth by publishing less than once a week. It just doesn't happen. You might maintain growth that you had previously, but it's really dangerous because you're not going to achieve growth at less than one a week. If you do just one a week, and that's the bare minimum, one a week, you will see a little bit of growth, but it's going to be very, 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 very slow. Matter of fact, we did have this client one time that we were publishing one a week, and we knew we could win. We knew we could dominate this space, and they had very low organic traffic, and we were publishing one a week because that's what they could invest in. And after about 6 months, we were thinking, man, we're not seeing growth that excites us. The company might have been happy, but we were not excited to work at all on this project. So we actually went to the company and said, hey, we want to publish more than once a week. So we're going to do this extra post for free for a little while to show you what the difference is. And so for a quarter, I think we published an extra post a week on our dime, so that we could show them that 2 a week would get them much faster growth. And if you looked at the graph, it's like 1 month after we started publishing 2 a week, traffic took off and it just went through the ceiling. And so there is a definite correlation between that, one blog post a week is very slow growth. 2 a week seems to be somewhat of a sweet spot. We've tried publishing 3 times a week. We've tried publishing 4 times a week. And while those do get a little bit more results than publishing twice a week, the results are not that much different. And so, the sweet spot seems to be publish on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the bare minimum, and you'll experience pretty good growth if you do if those posts are well made and very great with SEO and all of that. You will see growth at 2 a week. If you really want to hyper inject growth, go to multiple times a day or once a day, 5 times a week, 7 times a week, something like that, and you'll see a pretty good growth curve happening. But if you really just want steady, consistent growth and you don't have a huge amount of budget to throw around at creating blog content, then I do urge you, don't do less than 2 a week. 2 a week seems to be the sweet spot. It's the bare minimum that I would shoot for. The second thing that I think people should invest in creating in 2019 is video content like this. You need video content. And here's the reason why. Your blog post will perform very well on Google. You will get organic traffic. If all you do is blogging, you can own the Google search engine. However, The second largest search engine in the world is YouTube, and your blog content is never going to show up on YouTube. While as a YouTube video can actually show up in the Google results, but not vice versa. So if you're creating great blogs, you're going to own Google, but you're not even going to appear on the second largest search engine in the world, which is YouTube. Therefore, if you create video content, not only will you rank in the second largest search engine in the world, but you can also expect to rank, not maybe as well as blog content in most cases, but you can also rank on Google, so you get the best of both worlds. I actually think the best strategy is a healthy helping of blogging and a healthy helping of video content. And the reason that happens is because social media, Facebook, they give preferential rankings to video content. LinkedIn gives preferential treatment to video content. Instagram also gives preferential treatment to video content. Just about any platform that you look at is giving preferential treatment to video content. And therefore, you should create video. It's where we're going. In times past, we would search on Google for answers to questions. And if you're doing SEO kind of content, you're used to addressing these questions. So what we do, we look for questions that our target persona is asking. We create content to answer those questions. However, on YouTube, what we have found, and what I've found in my own life, is that there's some things that I want to search for, but I don't want to read about how to do it. I want someone to show me how they do it. Then I can apply that to my situation. And that's becoming a much more common occurrence, is that people want to be shown how. They don't want to be told how. And that's where your YouTube, that's where video content comes into play. So I would actually create just as many videos as I did blog posts. And in a perfect world, that would be awesome. And here's kind of the deal. If you're talking about content marketing, when you create content, you create blog posts, you create video, a lot of people make the mistake of doing that in isolation. So they create a blog post or they create a video, they publish the video, maybe they upload the video to Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, they publish the same video everywhere, and they get a little bit more, exposure from that. But then they move on, they create video number 2. That is wasting a lot of mileage out of the content you create. And so one of the biggest questions that a lot of people have when it comes to content is, what's the ROI? Which I don't think you should ever measure the ROI of individual pieces. I think that's missing the point entirely. But as a whole, your blogging, is your organic traffic going up? That's really the only measurement that you need to measure. Is your traffic going up or not? And if it is, then things are going great. If it's not, then you need to improve, maybe publish more, maybe publish better quality. With YouTube, it's the same thing. You can publish a video, maybe it gets views, maybe it doesn't. If it doesn't get views, maybe you need to be better quality. Maybe you just need to publish more. It all comes down to all of these variables. But if you're doing those in isolation, you're just doing one-off things, you're missing an opportunity to drive that holistic ROI up even further. And this is what I mean. You're watching this video now. If you're this far in, we're about 13 minutes in. It's a long video, but if you're here, you're watching this. This video is based on a written blog post. Matter of fact, some of you are even on that blog post right now watching this video because I distracted you with the video and I'm giving you the same content. And maybe not all of it. If you want to read the whole post, you can go and click the link. I'll put it in the description below. But the matter of fact is that we had the blog post first. Now we have the video version because we want to own both the #1 search engine and the #2 search engine for the searches around this topic. And so we're making both versions. But if you want to take this even farther, there's a lot of great little pieces, nuggets inside every video that you create. You can clip those out and upload them to Instagram. You can clip them out and make a mix-up video and upload it to YouTube that kind of goes side by side with this video. It's repurposing content. You have to repurpose. And so there's really 2 types of content. I'm going to stretch it into 3. I'm going to say invest in blogging, invest in video, and then invest in repurposed editions of every piece of content that you create. Sometimes you'll mash it up. You might take clips from this video, clips from that video, and make a new video. If you want an example of somebody that's doing this amazing, go look up Gary Vaynerchuk on YouTube. They are taking, sometimes I hear the same clip in about 8 or 9 videos, but it's relevant to everything that's being talked about in every video. They're just repurposing the best pieces of all of the content that they create. And so when Gary Vaynerchuk makes one video, it's turning into about 40, 50 pieces of content. If you want to see kind of a scenario that I lay out on how you can take, one written piece of content and turn it into like 40 different pieces, you can click over and read the blog post below. It's in the description. But the bottom line is that you have to invest in content marketing. You have to do it well, and you have to do it at scale. If you do that, you can win. But it's going to take quantity and quality working together. And when I say quantity, I mean quantity. I mean different styles. I mean images, videos, audio, written content. You got to do it all. But if I was going to invest in 3 things, it would be number 1, start with written content. Write a blog post that deserves to rank, and then take that blog post that is ranking, make a video version of it, and then cut all of that up into little bite-sized pieces and throw it everywhere, so that you repurpose the content, you get so much more mileage out of it. I hope that this video was at least informational to you. I really encourage you to repurpose your content if you can, and you'll get much more out of it. Blog, create video, and repurpose. Thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you like this video. Hit the thumbs down if you didn't like it. If you liked it, hit the thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.